let me just see what happens and maybe I'll get in. Maybe it'll give me experience for the next time. That was dumb. I was instantly rejected from 2 programs. Hey guys, welcome to the PA Platform channel. I'm Savannah Perry. I'm a dermatology PA. I've been doing that for 10 years, over 10 years. And I also run the PA platform and I'm a pre-PA coach. And I haven't done this in a while, but I thought we might could spend a little time reflecting. Now that I have 10 years as a PA under my belt, which just seems crazy. I feel like I graduated yesterday. I feel like I graduated college yesterday. I haven't really done kind of my story of why I picked PA and what I've been doing my career so far. So I thought this might be kind of fun. I just turned 35. Oh, that's great. I can't handle that. But I feel in my heart I'm like 26. So let's dive into a little bit of history. Let's have a history lesson of the PA platform. Growing up, I was somebody who was interested in medicine. Just I liked science. And I think that naturally inclined you to maybe being interested in medicine, but I was more science inclined. So in high school, I started thinking, what am I going to do in my future? I have to start making some decisions. And I think at that point what I knew about was either doctor or nursing. And those were on my radar, possibilities. But my dad is the one who actually saw a PA and came home and told me about it. And y'all, this was so long ago. He printed out a binder of information to bring to me because the internet is not like it was, like it wasn't on our phones. So anyway, he brought me all this information about PAs, and I kind of thought like, oh, that's cool, but I don't care. But it planted a seed, and it was in the back of my mind because I'd never heard of a PA. I didn't know what they were. I didn't know, physician assistant, what that was. So I went to the University of Georgia. Go Dogs! I went in 2008, and I was a biology major. I was like, okay, I like science. I want to do something medical. I need to be a bio major, which I will say, looking back, that is one thing I wish I did differently. I wish I had explored other majors. I still would have been a PA, but I think there were majors that would have either allowed me to get clinical experience and made it so I didn't have to take extra science classes. Like the ones would have been more specific for PA that it required. Or I could have done something that I had other interest in. Like I love marketing, I love business clearly, and I wish I had some formal education in that and I could have still taken my prereqs. Hindsight's 2020, but something to consider if you're in that phase. But I was a bio major, and freshman year I still didn't know what to do. I was like, do I want to go to med school? That's what everybody's doing. All the bio majors are going to med school, clearly. I was like, nursing, I don't know, dental school, PT school, PA school, OT school. Do I want to teach? What do I want to do? I'm an over researcher, so I spent tons and tons of time trying to figure this out and researching, figuring out the paths, what I would have to do, the salary, the job satisfaction. And ultimately, I decided I do want to work with patients. I want to be in a situation where I'm working with patients and helping them make decisions and making them better. Growing up, my sister had an autoimmune disease, and so we were in and out of doctors' offices all the time. And just seeing that, we had one very, very kind doctor. His name was Dr. Miller, and I remember, would like call my parents with new studies and new information just to help them out. Like he was thinking about her even when she wasn't coming in. And so I appreciated that. And I was like, I want to do that. I want to be that for someone. And I want that knowledge. I enjoy this. Okay. So by the end of freshman year, I was like, I think I want to either go to med school or PA school, not teeth, not feet. At that point, I had a year of my degree under my belt, and like to switch to nursing would have been kind of backwards. Like it didn't really make sense. And I'm in Georgia, and that's a very PA friendly state. And so I was like, I'm just going to go PA or med school. Freshman year was hard. Our classes at UGA were 300 plus people. I struggled in chemistry, but I did okay. I did fine. And I started thinking about just the future, like MCAT and step exams and picking a residency. And that kind of stressed me out. I was like, that's a lot, but let me explore PA. So I was able to shadow a PA and a doctor team over the summer, and they were fantastic. They worked in hospital medicine and wound care. And so I would sometimes go with the doctor, sometimes go with the PA, sometimes with them both. And I think that experience is what solidified PA for me. Just talking to her, seeing how she was able, it was her second job, she'd switch specialties. She had a lot of independence in her patient care, a lot of autonomy, but she was also closely collaborating with the physician. And seeing them bounce ideas back and forth and have these discussions about patient care, to me, just emulated like what patient care should be, where it's a team-based approach, where there's discussion, there's collaboration, what's best for the patient is being discussed. And I just loved it. I loved it so much. And so at that point, I've always been somebody who, when I make a decision, like I'm good with it and I just make decisions pretty easily. And so I decided PA. I went back to school. I was PA, and that was that. I didn't change my mind and I don't regret it. But going back, I started to learn that my advisors were not very familiar with the PA profession. I would have to basically tell them what classes I needed. They weren't really aware of what classes I needed for PA school. And I had to start getting experience and doing all these things. So I did hospice volunteering. I got my CNA license. I had to drive to Atlanta every weekend for like 3 months and then give up my spring break to do clinical rotations to get my CNA license. But then that allowed me to get a job in a rehab hospital as a CNA over the summer, which was a great experience. They had a neuro unit, they had like rehab in there. So I got to go see kind of what PTs did. I loved it. I felt confident in my decision, continued to pursue PA. So I decided to apply my junior year, like the end of my junior year. I did this thinking I was not going to get in. Now, this is not necessarily the right mindset, but I was like, let me just see what happens and maybe I'll get in, or like maybe it'll give me experience for the next time. That was dumb. I was instantly rejected from two programs. One of them wanted 1,000 hours and one wanted 2,000 hours, and both of those were more than I had. And so those didn't work out. But the other two schools I applied to actually got interviews. So those were in the fall of my senior year, and I got acceptances, which luckily one of the programs was Augusta University, which is where I'm from. It's also the only public program in Georgia. So the tuition was much less than any other private program. That also worked out because my then boyfriend turned fiance turned husband had just gotten into medical school at AU also, or MCG. That was great. I graduated in December of 2012, and I had a semester off before I started PA school at Augusta University in May of 2012. So PA school for me was 27 months. We didn't have much breaks. Did a year and a semester of didactic and then a year of clinical rotations that were each 4 weeks. I loved PA school. I met such a great group of friends, like people I still text today, almost daily. We go to conferences together. The people you meet in PA school will understand the like what you're going through more than anyone else. I lived at home for the first year. I was engaged and I got married during PA school, which is not really recommended, but we did it anyway. I have a whole video on that. My husband was in medical school, so the whole first year lived at home and then got married, and we moved into a house for when I started rotations. And then I did my rotations. PA school's hard, but it's doable. Like I think if you get into PA school, you can do it. But we graduated in August, and because my husband was also in school, we didn't have any money, like we're on loans, whatever. Some of my classmates were scheduling vacations and all these fun things after graduation, but I just was like, I need a job. I've got to go to work. So January before graduation, I started looking for jobs. I kind of had a problem because I loved all of my rotations. I loved everything. Even ones I thought I would hate, I really liked them. So I liked everything. And I knew that I liked surgery and procedures and being in the OR. Back in college, I had shadowed in dermatology a lot, and I knew I liked that, but I also knew it was a hard field to get into. So I started applying, and I think it was February I was on ER. January I was on surgery. February I was on ER. So January I was with a general surgeon who was fantastic. Love him. Like he still calls me with patients all the time. We were talking and he's kind of asking what I wanted to do. And I was like, I think maybe like surgery, dermatology, whatever. I also thought during rotations I needed to tell everyone that I was with that I wanted to do their specialty. And that's not right. So I started like really saying what I wanted to do. He told me that one of the students that he had worked with previously, he had gotten them a job in dermatology, and he knew this dermatologist really well. And come to find out, that PA was moving, and he was like, I think you would be a good fit with her. Let me make a phone call. I was excited, but this got me into a little bit of trouble because I then found out that one of my best friends in PA school had already applied to that job, or like she knew somebody who knew the person or whatever. For that, like I just recommend not even talking about jobs or where you're applying with your classmates until it's finalized, because it made it really uncomfortable for a while. Spoiler alert, we both ended up in different derm jobs and it was great, but for a little while it wasn't. So, I was like, "I don't know if I can apply." Like, my friends applied and she had rotated with him too, and I was like, "So and so applied." He said, "I don't care. I think you would be a best fit. I'm calling her." I had applied, I'd sent my resume, but he put in a personal recommendation to this doctor, which I so appreciate. And I went, I shadowed for a day, and I loved it, and I got an offer. So that was in April when I actually signed. Now, I had a little bit of problem here too because I'd been interviewing other places. I'd interviewed with a spine surgeon and I'd interviewed and verbally accepted a job with a neurosurgeon. It was at an academic center though, so it wasn't even posted on the website yet. And so I just kind of told him like, I'm sorry, like I have this other job. Because when I asked him about it, he was like, I don't really know when it'll be posted, but when it is, like we'll pick you, but other people could apply. So it was a little bit weird. But I think I would have loved that job also. I was very, very excited to get my foot in the door in dermatology. Now, I will tell you that other people turned down this job because the starting salary was not that great. I'll just tell y'all, it was $65,000 as a new grad. You're like, oh my gosh, why'd you take that? I took it because I knew that the earning potential was there. And I knew that if I stuck around and I learned and showed my work ethic, I could make a good salary. And I did. I bonused my first year. I did fine. We can talk more about salary if y'all have questions about that. It was a fantastic first job. So I was still in rotations. I was able to do my last two elective rotations there, which was July and August. And then I took 2 weeks off, took boards, and then went back to work while I was waiting for my licensing to come through. Like, I remember the day I got my board scores because I knew they were coming and I got the email. I went outside and I sat on the stairs and I said, I'm going to open this. And if I didn't pass, I'm just going to leave. I'm gone. I'm just never coming back. But I luckily passed. So then I went back in and we celebrated. But I had a fantastic physician I worked with, great teacher, great trainer. Our practice grew very quickly. So there's a lot of adjustments right at the beginning. But I am so grateful for that experience. I loved it. So I stayed at that practice for 5 years. After my fourth year, I had my first child. I had a daughter. So I worked full time for a year while I had her. At the same time, I'd started the PA platform about a year after I graduated, recognizing that there was a need for people to talk about the PA profession. And this is back when social media wasn't as big of a thing as it is now. I just started talking about it, blogging about it. I'd helped a lot of people through their application processes. And I was like, let me just make a website. My husband's in school. He's never here. I don't have any homework anymore or any tests to study for. I don't know what to do with myself. So I made the PA platform and I'm so glad I did. Like, it's been such a great community and to see the growth of it has been really cool. But we'll get to that. So anyway, so I'm doing the PA platform. I love that. I'm working as a dermatology PA. I love that. I have a daughter. I love her. So after that year of working full time, at that point, my husband had finished residency and his schedule was 7 on, 7 off. It was time for me to make a change. I had paid off my loans. In the end, I think I ended up with like $75,000 of loans because I went to a public school, so it was cheaper. I'd paid them off in those 5 years. I think I actually paid them. I have a video on it, but I actually paid them off in like 14 months. I was very aggressive. But yeah, I just felt overwhelmed. I felt overwhelmed all the time. And part of the beauty of the PA profession is the flexibility. So I was like, maybe I can go part time. So I asked the practice I was at, can I cut back? And it just wasn't working. Like, they couldn't accommodate that. They needed more, and I wasn't willing to kind of change things that I was asking for. So I put in my resignation and I got a new job where I worked Mondays and Tuesdays at a different practice. So I've been there for almost 6 years. I love it. I'm actually, like, big announcement, it's official now. I'm actually changing my schedule there to 2 days every other week, but I'll actually be seeing about the same number of patients. So I'm extending my hours, just having less days. I think that'll be nice for just our work-life balance and letting me be able to focus on the PA platform a lot too. Back in 2023, July of 2023, a lot of things happened. I had a second baby, after struggling to get pregnant and having to go through IVF while working and doing all this, which having the flexibility of that schedule and a practice that was super supportive meant so much during that. So I had him, and then I joined with Matt. So I kind of took on a role helping Matt, which is an educational application tracker software, develop their pre-PA aspect. Basically, I help make the PA side better. So if you have any suggestions, let me know. That's been so much fun just to learn about that side of things and have more of a team, even more people to kind of work with and learn from. So at this point, I've been doing PA stuff for over 10 years, PA platform for over 9 years. I have 2 kids and I'm 35. Like, this is wild. I'm not stopping. Like, y'all want me to keep doing it, I'll keep doing it. It's just been fun to see how things have changed. I'm excited to see where the profession goes. I've seen a lot happen in the last 10 years. There's been a new name, a lot of changes in education, new tests, the PA CAT, Casper, and then some things are the same. The application process is relatively the same. So it's been fun. I just can't believe it's been that long. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you have more questions, I'm kind of an open book. Ask me anything. And if there's something specific you want videos on, please let me know. I'll see you guys in the next video. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out.